Something is wrong in Derry again. You can feel it the moment the camera moves through those empty streets in the episode 5 trailer. It's quiet. Too quiet. As if the whole town is holding its breath, waiting for something it already knows is coming. You can almost sense the fear hiding in the air, fear that doesn't belong to just one person, but to the entire town. And the trailer doesn't waste a second reminding us that in Derry, silence is never peace. Silence is a warning. The first moments of the episode 5 trailer set a tone that is both familiar and unsettling. The trailer begins with a slow glide through Derry's main street, and even though nothing dramatic is happening, the feeling of danger is unmistakable. There are no crowds, no sounds, no movement, only a few flickering streetlights and a thin layer of fog that seems too heavy to be natural. This is classic Derry, a place where evil hides in plain sight, pretending to be harmless until someone gets too close. The trailer uses this empty space to make the audience feel exposed, almost like the town is watching them instead of the other way around. As the shot pulls forward, we begin to notice small details that hint at something darker beneath the surface. A red balloon drifting between buildings, a shadow that moves slightly faster than the light around it, a street sign shaking even though there's no wind. None of these things scream danger, but all of them quietly say the same message: Pennywise is waking up again. The trailer doesn't show him directly yet, but it doesn't need to. His presence is felt in the way the camera lingers on corners, as if expecting something terrible to peek out at any second. Then the trailer shifts to quick flashes of the main characters, each one shot in a way that reveals their growing fear. Their faces are tight, their eyes darting around, their breathing uneven. These aren't people who are confused, they're people who have realized something is badly wrong. And the trailer makes it clear that whatever happened in episode 4 has changed them. They aren't just running from random scares anymore. They're starting to understand that Derry's evil is not an accident. It has a purpose, it has a rhythm, and it has chosen them. One of the strongest moments in this first section comes from a brief flash of the sewer entrance. The camera doesn't stay long, but the message is powerful enough. The darkness inside the opening looks too deep, too alive, almost like it's waiting to swallow something whole. This single shot carries a lot of weight for fans of the IT universe. The sewer isn't just a location, it's Pennywise's true hunting ground. Any shot of that place is a reminder of the ancient evil that has lived beneath Derry long before the town ever existed. The next few moments reveal subtle hints that something has shifted in the town. The sky seems darker even in daylight. The colors of the buildings look washed out, almost drained. The roads appear wet even though it hasn't been raining. These are tiny changes, but together they create a world that feels slightly off balance, as if Derry itself is reacting to Pennywise's growing power. And for viewers who know King's lore, this is an important sign. When the creature stirs, reality around it begins to twist in small but disturbing ways. The first section of the trailer ends with a slow-motion shot of a child running across the street. You don't see what they're running from, and that's exactly what makes it terrifying. Their face is filled with panic, their hands stretched forward, their steps uneven. It's a reminder that in Derry, children sense danger long before adults do. The trailer cuts the moment right before the child reaches the edge of the frame, leaving us with an unfinished image that forces the viewer's imagination to fill in the worst possibilities. This entire opening sequence is designed to build tension without showing too much. It uses atmosphere instead of jump scares, silence instead of loud moments, and fear of the unseen instead of fear of the obvious. Episode 5's trailer signals that the story is entering a new phase, one where the danger is no longer hidden, but slowly rising toward the surface. The town is changing, the characters are changing, and something old and hungry is waking up beneath Derry. As the trailer moves into its next wave of clips, the focus shifts from Derry's strange atmosphere to the people trapped inside it. Each character appears not just as someone living in a cursed town, but as someone slowly being claimed by it. Their expressions show a new level of fear, something deeper than shock or confusion. It's the kind of fear you feel when you realize the monster you're dealing with is smarter than you, older than you, and already 3 steps ahead. The trailer uses close shots of their eyes, their trembling hands, and their shaky breathing to show the early signs of panic sinking in. It's no longer denial or curiosity. They are scared because they understand now the threat in Derry doesn't come at random. It chooses. One character stands out early in this section. Their face is lit only from one side, making their eyes look hollow and exhausted. You can tell they haven't slept properly in days. Not because they couldn't, but because every time they closed their eyes, something appeared in the dark. This character begins talking to another person, but their voice cracks slightly, as if they're struggling to hold themselves together. The trailer doesn't reveal everything they've seen, but it reveals enough to show that their mind is starting to break under the pressure. This is the type of storytelling that slowly tightens the grip around the viewer. You don't need to see the monster. You only need to see what it does to people. Another character shown in this section looks more determined than frightened, but the tension in their jaw reveals the truth. They clutch an object, something small, maybe meaningful, and their eyes keep drifting to the corners of the room, like they expect something to crawl out of the shadows. Their fear is quieter, hidden beneath stubborn bravery, but the trailer captures the exact moment when even courage begins to fade. They whisper a few words, and though the sound is faint, the meaning is clear. They've noticed something following them. Not a person, not an animal. Something that changes shape. Something that smiles when it shouldn't. The trailer also shows the group together in one quick scene, and it's one of the most powerful moments in this section. The way they stand tells a story. They're close to each other, not for warmth or comfort, but because they're scared to break apart. They are beginning to realize that Pennywise doesn't just hunt people, he isolates them, pushes them away from the safety of others, and then goes for the weakest moment. Now the group is trying to fight that. They share glances that feel heavy with unspoken fear. No one says it, but they're all thinking the same thing. Sticking together might be the only thing keeping them alive. Then comes the moment that truly shakes Section 2. One of the characters, who has always tried to be the strong one, suddenly breaks down. Their voice becomes unsteady, and for a few seconds, they forget to breathe. They describe something they saw, something impossible, something wrong with the shape of its body, something that stared right into them. The trailer doesn't show what they saw, but the pure terror in their voice fills in the blanks. This is where the audience begins to understand that episode 5 isn't just introducing more scares. It's breaking the characters psychologically. Pennywise isn't attacking their bodies. He's attacking their minds. The trailer ends this section with one powerful, silent moment. The characters looking at each other, trying to figure out who will survive what's coming. It's not a dramatic moment filled with screams or action, but a quiet exchange of worrying and trust. Their eyes say what their mouths don't. They don't believe they can keep running. They don't believe they can hide. They're not even sure they can fight. But they know they have to do something, because whatever Pennywise is planning in episode 5, it's bigger than anything they've faced so far. This part of the trailer makes one thing clear. Fear is no longer around them, it's inside them. And episode 5 will push that fear to its breaking point. The next part of the trailer shifts its focus from the characters back to the deeper mystery at the center of Derry. And this is where the story starts pulling threads from the old legends that surround Pennywise. The trailer doesn't give every detail directly, but it drops enough hints to make longtime fans freeze for a moment. There is a sense that episode 5 won't just show more scares, it will peel back the layers of Derry's past, exposing the truth people in the town have been too afraid to face for generations. Each image feels like a puzzle piece, as if the show wants viewers to remember something ancient sleeping beneath the quiet surface of this place. One of the most striking shots in this section is of an old building, cracked and fading, with symbols carved into the wood. At first glance, the marks look normal, maybe weather damage or graffiti from kids messing around. But when the camera holds for an extra second, a pattern starts to emerge. They resemble shapes seen in earlier episodes, shapes that fans of the IT lore know are tied to something far older than Derry itself. These symbols whisper of the creature's origin, Something not fully human, not fully real, and older than time as we understand it. The trailer never explains it directly, but the message is clear. The past is calling, and episode 5 will answer. Another important moment is a quick flash of old newspaper clippings. They show tragedies from years before fires, disappearances, unexplained accidents. We've seen these pieces of history hinted at before, but the trailer arranges them in a way that makes it obvious they are connected by one unseen hand. In each clipping, there's always something strange in the background, a face too blurred to recognize, a balloon drifting where it shouldn't be, a shadow that doesn't match the angle of the light. These are the kinds of details that suggest Pennywise didn't appear once and leave. He has always been here, shaping the town through fear, feeding on the pain, twisting every generation in his own silent way. There is also a disturbing image of something underground. The camera shows a twisting tunnel, the walls pulsing slightly as if they are alive. This isn't just a sewer. It feels more like a place that has existed long before Derry, a place connected to the creature's true form. Fans who know Stephen King's deeper lore will recognize this as a sign of the deadlights, the unexplainable force that Pennywise comes from, something beyond human understanding. The trailer never shows the deadlights directly, but the imagery feels like a warning that episode 5 might reveal more about them than ever before. The trailer also hints at Derry's old tragedies, the ones that were always brushed aside or forgotten. There are flashes of smoky air that resemble the black spot fire, the faint sound of metal that recalls the ironworks explosion, and shadows that look like figures from the Bradley Gang massacre. These references aren't random. They're reminders that Pennywise has shaped the town through every decade, feeding on the chaos he creates. Episode 5 seems ready to pull these horrors back into the present, revealing that the events people thought were accidents may have been something much worse. What makes this section of the trailer so powerful is the way it blends old mythology with new terror. It doesn't rewrite the history of IT, it expands it. By showing these pieces of Derry's past, the trailer suggests that the characters are about to face not just the clown, but the entire legacy of fear that the creature has woven through the town. The past isn't dead here. It's alive, and it's waking up because the creature beneath Derry wants to finish something it started long ago. The final moment of this section is a shot of what looks like an ancient drawing, something scratched into stone. It shows a creature with long limbs, sharp edges, and eyes that glow like tiny suns. It's not Pennywise in his clown form. It's something closer to his real shape, something cosmic and unnatural. This single image carries a heavy weight, a silent message that Pennywise is not just a monster hiding under a town. He is a force that doesn't belong to the human world. A force that episode 5 might finally reveal more clearly. This entire section transforms the trailer from a simple horror preview into a warning. The characters may have feared Pennywise before, but episode 5 will show them and us that the clown is only the mask. The real terror is the ancient evil behind it. As the trailer moves into its final stretch, the emotional tone shifts from fear to something heavier, something closer to dread. This is where the characters' personal battles begin to mix with the supernatural threats surrounding them. The trailer highlights their inner struggles in a way that feels more painful than any jump scare. These aren't just people running from a monster. They are people facing the parts of themselves they've tried to bury for years. Episode 5 will push them to places they never wanted to revisit. And the trailer makes it painfully clear that not all of them will survive that journey and change. One character appears sitting alone, their head lowered, their hands gripping the edge of their seat. The camera stays long enough for us to see their bodies shaking, not violently, but in a way that suggests they've reached the edge of what their mind can handle. Everything they've seen, every strange moment in Derry, every sign pointing toward the creature beneath the town, has broken through whatever emotional wall they tried to build. The look in their eyes is a mix of grief and realization. They know that Pennywise doesn't just kill people physically. He corrupts them emotionally until they become hollow versions of who they used to be. And in this moment, the character begins to accept that their fear is not just a reaction, it has become a part of them. Another character, who has always acted stronger than they really are, begins to unravel in a different way. The trailer shows them in a hallway, frozen in place, staring at something off-screen. They take a slow step backward, their breath trembling, as if they've recognized something from their past. A trauma Pennywise has now twisted into a living nightmare. The character's face shows the realization that the creature knows exactly what memory will destroy them. This is the moment when the trailer hints that episode 5 may not just explore physical danger, but psychological collapse. For some characters, their past might be more dangerous than any monster lurking in the dark. The group moments in this section reveal the cracks forming between them. Fear acts like a wedge, slowly pushing the characters apart even when they try to stick together. One person blames themselves for something that happened earlier. Another blames the town for trapping them. A third begins to question whether the others can truly be trusted. These small fractures are important because Pennywise has always fed on division. The trailer shows quick flashes of heated voices, confused expressions, and arguments cut short by sudden fear. It's almost as if Derry itself is guiding them toward conflict. Knowing that the weaker they become emotionally, the easier they will be to break. One of the most haunting shots in this section comes from a brief moment where a character stands in front of a mirror. At first, they are staring at their own reflection, trying to recognize themselves after everything they've been through. But then their reflection begins to change slowly, almost too subtly to notice. The smile becomes slightly wider. The eyes seem to lose their humanity. The character doesn't see it yet, but the viewers do. This moment suggests that Pennywise's influence is no longer limited to shadows and sewers. It is creeping into their minds, reshaping how they see themselves, infecting their identity. This is the type of psychological horror that lingers long after the trailer ends. As the section continues, the trailer hints at the possibility of a sacrifice. One character is shown running toward danger instead of away from it, their face determined, their breath sharp. This doesn't look like panic, it looks like acceptance. It looks like someone who has realized that the only way to save the others might be to risk everything, even their life. The trailer never confirms whether they survive, but the tension in the shot is heavy enough to suggest that episode 5 may mark the first major turning point, where the story begins claiming its victims. The final seconds of this section leave a chilling impression. The characters gather again, but the fear on their faces is different now. It's not just fear of Pennywise. It's fear of what they might become if they keep going. They exchange looks, not of comfort, but of silent understanding. They know the path ahead will break someone. They know that episode 5 will force them into choices that will haunt them forever. And as the screen fades out, the feeling left behind is unmistakable. Whatever happens next will change them in a way they can never come back. From this entire section of the trailer sets the emotional foundation for episode 5. It tells us that the horror isn't just in the shadows or the sewers. It's in the characters themselves, their guilt, their memories, their fear, and the painful truth that the deeper they go into Derry's mystery, the more they risk losing themselves before they ever escape Pennywise.